Next question. How do I move on without feeling bad that I'm making my life better?
Yeah, and this is interesting too because it's I'm wondering who wrote this. Were you on the one who prompted the divorce or not? So I think for me, I view divorce as I had once said something. I'm like, you're divorce, not dead. Divorce can consume you and it can suck you down. But it's like, you know what? I'm divorced, but I'm not dead. Like, let me live my life to the fullest. So whether you're the one who prompted the divorce or not, whether you were shocked by it or whatever your situation was, this is almost like a second chance. It's okay. It's okay to live your life for you. Sometimes, like for me, I was married kind of young. I was mid 20s. I had 3 children. I kind of just, followed in line to what I thought was the next right step in life. And then divorce happened unbeknownst. I was like, not obviously not part of my plan. And then so it's just like I took a step back, like how can I make this work for me? And it's that line that a lot of us always hear, like it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So if you can, release that victim mindset, it's like, okay, it's not happening to me, but it's happening for me. What can I do? And so I think there's no fault in really making this life as good as you want it, especially when children are involved, because your kids will be watching you, and they're going to see you thrive. So if you're focused on thriving and living your best life, and your kids are witnessing that, like, oh, wow, this happened, especially as they get older and they realize what divorce is. And they'll probably see situations where it wasn't that positive for some families and they can see, wow, like my mom, my dad, like they went through this, but they're so happy and they're traveling or they're pursuing this new career, taking care of themselves. I think there's definitely no fault in that. So just coming from that mindset, and as long as it's healthy, you're living your life, you're having a healthier life for yourself and your kids, again, keeping them in the forefront of all of it. I think they'll see that. And I will say too, one thing that I just thought of was so I have 50-50 with my kids. And so then when they're not with me, I did have a little bit of this guilt, like, God, I'm kind of enjoying my time, but I don't want my kids to like think that. And so I will say, like, something that helped me is I almost kind of downplayed like my new adventures. If I was traveling, taking a trip with friends or something for a weekend away, I didn't really gouge all the details. I was just like, oh, I'm just out, with my friend or whatever, because I didn't want them to feel like they were missing out. Granted, we did a lot of things together as well, but so that was one thing, because I did have a little bit of that too. Like, God, I feel like I'm finding myself again and like having fun. With my kids and without. So when I was without my kids, I did kind of downplay some of it because I didn't want them to feel like they were missing out on anything. So I don't know if that'll help anyone going through this.
Yeah, and when I read the question too, I think a lot of people, when you first get divorced, these feelings, they're almost unavoidable. Like there is kind of it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
So knowing that is important. That like this is a long-term investment. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
said, this is your life, and the first 6 months are probably going to be a little rocky.
Yeah.
And the other piece is that usually, especially if the marriage, look, yeah, and ended in divorce, the marriage was not going that great.
Yeah.
There's almost always a lot of this kind of codependent tendencies by at least one person in the marriage. So you're almost having to unwire yourself from that feeling bad, these feelings of worrying about this other person. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, I only have to worry about me and the kids now. It's
Yeah.
kind of disorienting in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say, I mean, if you're having good moments though, enjoy them, because like you just said, Rob, I mean, it gets worse before it gets better. But then, I mean, it's like a roller coaster. Then there are times where it's like, oh my gosh, I thought I was over the bad, the hard parts, and you're sucked right back down. So it's enjoy the moments when they're good. And then also work to create the tools. And that's what I do, like through wellness coaching too, to when times are bad, what to do to rebound quicker as well.
Yes, absolutely. Why working with a coach and learning is very important, because I always say this is like you're starting kindergarten a lot of times after divorce. You got a lot of new skills that you have to learn.
It's all new. Yeah.